Island Sun Tarot. In this video, I'm going to be answering some questions that were kindly sent to me by a viewer, and I just thought it'd be nice to have a little share and a chat. So there are 5 questions. Some of them overlap a little bit, or like my answer kind of leads into the next one. So I'm just gonna try and go in order and answer them the best that I can. So the first one is why I moved to Hawaii. The short answer is for my boyfriend. The long romantic side of me version is I was in Maui vacationing with friends, and we were hiking in the Io Valley, and there's some natural spring pools there, and the river kind of trickles down, so it creates the pools, and some of them aren't quite large enough to swim in, so we were looking for one that we could swim in, and we walked out to one, and there was just one man hanging out in this one, and he was like, "Oh, you're good, come on in," you know, and that was my boyfriend. So we all just kind of hung out, chatted, whatever. Great, bye, have a good one. He ended up being at our same hotel, and then recommended a snorkeling spot where he was going to be, I believe, on like the Saturday of our trip, and when we got there, he was there and just kind of hung out. And so he's actually there working, and he stayed just to play on the island for the weekend. So he's always lived on Oahu, but he was in Maui for work that week leading up to the weekend that we were there. So anyways, we had a good time. We saw him a few times, hung out, cool. I really liked him. We had good conversation. There was a nice like flow, and I thought he was very handsome. And so we're at the airport, and my friends were like, "Did he ask you for your number?" And I was like, "Oh no, but it's okay." You know, like it was still like a great weekend, and he was really kind. And they thought that he really liked me. I came out of the bathroom at the airport, and there he was walking by, and he saw me, and he beelined over and asked me for my number. It was like that last cherry on top of the weekend to see him at the airport. And he was like, "Oh, I regretted not saying anything to you because you were with your friends." So it was just really sweet. And we did the long distance dating thing for about a year, and I flew out to all of the islands. Really, it was sort of his work schedule. He was there for the week working, and he was like, "Oh, you know, let's do Kauai or Big Island or, you know, whatever island." And so it was, I want to say every other month, but I think there were a couple of times that it just worked out for his schedule, and then also my work schedule getting days off, that it was maybe every like 2 months. And after about a little shy of 6 months of dating, he asked me to move out, and it was just a lot for me because I have a horse, this whole menagerie of a life. So it was romantic and fun, but moving was stressful in a way, organizing everything, but it was so worth it. So very simple reason why I moved to Hawaii for my boyfriend. So he's raised here, he's lived here his whole life. He works for a company that his family owns, so he has really good roots here. The next question is, how are the islands impacting your psychic senses? So this is sort of two-part, because I had a very busy, 40+ hour a week job when I lived in California, and my tarot time was very, well, I almost said late, but really early in the morning, because I was off at like midnight, 12:30. So by the time I got home, it took me a long time to wind down. So sometimes I would work out or read, and then I'd have some tarot time. So I'm talking like 1:30, almost 2 in the morning, and that was the only time that I had to give to it as a relaxing, winding down sort of thing. So it was limited, and here I've definitely spent more time learning and just with different decks and just enjoying it. And from living on the island, and we are just constantly at the beach, and I've always loved the water and loved the beach, but I just never had time for it. And everything is just so convenient. We are very close to several different beaches, and I love that connection with the water. So I feel like it wasn't just the island, it was the whole shift in my life from this more demanding job that I had and just completely winding down and slowing down while living here. And that really helped me with my practice, not only giving me more time to focus on different things or work towards things and set goals instead of just reading the tarot as a ending my day, starting my day, relaxing sort of thing. I still do that. I definitely still do that. But it's just broadened everything because my whole way of life has slowed down a lot living here. So don't get me wrong, I'm still very, very active, but I think slowing down in the sense of not having such a demanding job. And so it's given me time to focus on a lot of other things, mainly my children, but the extra time for personal time and self-care has been really wonderful. And a lot of that I have to owe to my boyfriend, really. So I'm forever grateful for that, because we're just utterly spoiled with where we live, and it's beautiful. It really is. So that kind of leads me into the next one, which is, what is it like to live and pursue your calling here on the island? I don't know if I've ever really looked at my life and been like, oh, this is my calling. Have I always loved horses? Yes, I've always loved horses. Ever since I was a little kid, and I've ridden my whole life, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm that type of person where I've thought, oh, that's my calling. But since living here, I have been able to pursue different goals and aspects of my life that I always had, because I've always had horses. Did I always have the time? Did I set bigger goals? No, I hadn't, not for years. And also, the big thing is my kids, because I worked from 4 to after midnight, and they go to bed at 8. When I left the house to go to work, they were napping. So I knew when I was there at work at 4 that they were just getting up and having snack, and I knew my mom and my grandma watched them. They were gonna do, craft, activity, have dinner. And in my head, I justified it that they're only awake for 4 hours and then they go to bed and you're still at work. So I didn't feel as guilty leaving them for so many hours, so many days. But after doing it for most of their lives, and then COVID hit, and as terrible as COVID is in the big picture, for me personally, it was refreshing break to be at home with my kids, at least for those first few weeks. And I definitely thought that I was going to go back to my job. I did know at the time that I was going to move to Hawaii, but I thought I would be able to just put in my notice at work and transfer, because I worked at Disneyland. I was going to transfer to the Alani that's here on the island. Come to find out now that it's like a 45-minute drive, and it's on the other side of the island, on the dry side. I don't ever go over there. And I'm really bad, because if it's more than 20 minutes away, I won't go, unless it's like a weekend thing and we're purposely going out to go hike or see something, go to a beach on the other side of the island. But for the most part, I don't drive that far. Anyways, so I sort of had this plan. So when COVID happened, and then I just didn't go back to work, and then I moved, and then they fired me. So I'd been there for 15 years, and I appreciated the job. I told myself that I loved it, but I needed it. I needed the job. There were certain things that I needed to pay for and take care of and accomplish, and that was the job that I needed to have to get it done, to have the hours. But I missed out on so much with my kids. gosh, what was it, like comforting myself and thinking that I was just gone for 4 hours really was bad, because I missed so much. So my calling has just been able to be myself and spend the time with my kids. And then I've also, on the other hand, set goals that I've never set for myself with my horse. And last year was a big goal year, and I met so many of those goals, and we ended on such a high, and he was just utterly fantastic. I love him so much. And, you know, of course, the other goal just in general for me of having a partner that really compliments me, and I think that comfort and support from him has affected these other things in my life with the kids and my horse. And could I have had that with him anywhere else? Yes, I'm sure, because he is very patient and kind. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. And so I could have had that with him in any city, any town, anywhere. But I'm just so lucky that this is the place that he calls home. So the island has then helped with so many other things, because it's just very relaxing, and we spend a lot of time at the beach, and I love the water so much. So that brings me to becoming more connected with the island, the water, the beach. We also love hiking, and the sense of calm that the entire place brings. Also, slower way of life. When I first got here, I felt like everybody drove so slow, and I couldn't believe this is the speed limit in some areas, where I thought in California the speed limit would be 50 right here, and you're driving and the speed limit's like 35, and then you get caught behind somebody that's just, you know, driving to the local market, and they're going like 25 in a 35 zone, and you're just like, oh my gosh, why? And yeah, it took me about 6 months to just like decompress from living in California my whole life. And my boyfriend would tease me. He's like, what is the speed limit on some of your freeways there? And I was like, 70? And he was like, whoa, 70? We don't even have a single speed limit that high anywhere on the island at all. You need to just, and really that was the truth. And so it'll be almost 2 years here. Gosh, really? 2 years in a couple months. So that's kind of impacting my psychic senses, was really just slowing down my entire life and really enjoying the natural things that the island has to offer. And then pursuing my calling, it was more so of a mom thing mixed with personal goals for my horse, and then also really just enjoying my relationship with my boyfriend, and how that has made me grow as a person, and how he complements some of my negative aspects. And I feel like we both complement each other very well. So the negative things are still there. Of course, your own personal negative things, they never go away, but you can work on it and try your best. And he's so patient that it really complements a lot of those things and just helps me. And so I feel less angst. I'm not as stressed, just in my whole body, just from living here. Complete life change. It wasn't just the move. So there were other factors there. So that was kind of a very long answer for 2 questions, because they kind of go together. So sorry about that. And then the last question is there a good support system? So there are, this is more for, you know, more tarot orientated. There are several shops that I really love, and they do classes, and the people that work there are so awesome. So there is, I'm gonna tag everything, because even if you're just visiting and you're here on vacation, it would still be awesome if you wanted to stop by these shops just to support them, pick up a crystal, what have you. But the first one I want to mention is Kailua Crystals. It's in Kailua, and they have a gorgeous little shop, beautiful, beautiful selection. Just shelves and shelves and shelves of crystals. The last time I was there, they had everything kind of organized by chakra. That was really awesome. They had a beautiful, huge amethyst chair out front. Had the kids sit in it and do some deep breathing, just kind of relax before we, walked out to the car. So gorgeous shop. The people that work there are wonderful, very knowledgeable about the crystals, and then just overall super sweet just to chat with. The next one is Hex and Rue. They consider themselves an apothecary, which I thought was super cute. But I'm pretty sure they started with like crystals and herbs, and then they've branched into these other things. So that little store is probably the best like library or book selection if you're looking for a specific book, because the owners really keep it stocked well with new books, classic books, popular things, even some very interesting things. Like I had shared a few months back a big Egyptian book that was the Book of the Dead, completely translated, and it had big colored pictures of all the scrolls, and I've never even seen anything like that anywhere, and that was where I found that book at that store. And then the vampire lore book was there. It was another really cool read that I really enjoyed. And they also do live Instagram sales once a week. I'm pretty sure it's on Wednesday nights, but it's always on Hawaii time. But they do have an Instagram, so I'll share everything below. But those are really fun, and the owner runs it, and she's very, I don't know, just charismatic, upbeat. Like it's, even though you're on Instagram doing this sale, you feel like you're there hanging out and just having a good time for a couple hours doing this sale. So yeah, so they have the crystals and herbs, incense, the book section, tarot, oracle, just so many cool things. And I've purchased a lot of candles from them because they do handmade candles, and oh gosh, I love them so much. They put so much like thought and intention, and it's so caringly done. Beautiful and so creative. So if you're here visiting, just like stop by, pick up a candle just to support them because they're wonderful. So that's Hex and Rue, and that is on the Honolulu side. The other shop that I haven't been to their actual store because it is on the other side, and they were doing a shopping by appointment only. So just with my kids and stuff, it was a little hard to like pin down a time to go be in the store. And also they do live crystal sales on Instagram. So that was how I found them. So I actually purchased a crystal through them, a golden quartz wand, and I use it to massage my horse. So I use it for equine massage. Beautiful crystal. I'm sorry I don't have it to share. It's at the stables, but oh gosh, I love it so much, and the energy is just gorgeous. So they go to Tucson, and they were sourcing crystals from there to bring back to the island. Thought that was really cool. And they do advertise that they have a tarot selection and book selection as well. I just haven't been to the store to actually experience it, so I can't really comment on what the selection's like or anything. But their live that they do is really great, and the ladies, I've purchased several crystals from them. But everybody that I've worked with through them has been really lovely. So that is Sedona, Hawaii. So I'll share everything below too. And that is it. That's all that I have. So all those shops, they all have classes as well. So if you wanted that support, you wanted to meet some people, you totally could go and take a class. I've checked out their class schedule several times. I'm just real busy with my horse and the kids. I do equine massage on the side, and I also walk dogs a little bit. I have like 3 or 4 clients that are regulars, and I normally don't add on an extra unless it's like a going out of town sort of situation. But just between those 3 or 4 dogs, it keeps me pretty busy. So, well, that is all that I have for you guys. I am so grateful for the questions being sent in. I did respond saying that I was going to do this video, but I didn't ask if they wanted to be mentioned. But you know who you are, so thank you so much. It was very sweet for sending in the questions, and I hope you all enjoy this. If you have any follow-up questions from doing this video, go ahead and leave them below. And if I have, 3 or 4, I can do another one of these little story time chat sit down sort of things. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.